I think we should try the same we did originally.
First one?
Yeah.
First one? Okay.
Yep.
Oh my god. Take 12. Take 12.
It's Rocky. So John and I met in 2006 up in St. Cloud at McReady's Pub. I was actually working for homecoming and he was up there visiting and he started hitting on me, so I started hitting on him.
She was working a beer tub and I went in there and we had mutual friends and I had a couple hours to spare during the day, so I started talking to her and her devilish eyes drew me in.
And he came back to visit me several times throughout the night while I was working, so I thought that was really cute of him, even though I think he was trying to nonchalantly hit on me.
We both actually tried to contact a friend for each other's number.
I got his number from one of his friends because I thought he was super cute and I didn't get it that night. And at the same time, without me knowing, he was trying to get my number from the same friend, but I still ended up calling him first. We met up in downtown Minneapolis with a group of friends and it was so much fun. Then we just kind of kept in touch and kept calling. He came up to St. Cloud to visit me several times from Wisconsin.
And it seemed like we clicked right away. When we first met, I was kind of down in the dumps, kind of a low point in my life where my father had passed away, and she was there to help guide me through everything, kind of be there for me, and it was good. She helped get my life back on track and everything in order.
I think that helped us grow a lot faster and a lot closer, just because he needed someone and I was there and I'll always be there.
That helped me get through probably one of the roughest times in my life, and she was a big part of that. And the second hardest part of my life to get through has been Jackson and Frankie.
So John is not a big fan of the dogs, but I love them. They're my babies. Frankie one night at our new place shortly after we bought it was barking, and so John let him outside to go to the bathroom. Well, he took off running and John was in his underwear. So John had to slip on his tennis shoes and run after this little puppy that was crying and barking and had to go to the bathroom so bad. So if you can only imagine this big, huge, bald guy in his underwear trying to run after this little puppy, it was hilarious.
Jackson was a dog she had originally had. I have to actually go outside and pick him up and put him on the retaining wall because he's too lazy to jump up. He has a hard time jumping up on couches or beds. And I'm a big tough guy and I got stuck with these two little fur balls.
It's so funny because John would get so furious with him and he's such a big guy and he had this little puppy and he'd just do like stare-offs with him because he didn't know what to do because he just wouldn't ever stop crying.
I found myself picking him up in the middle of the night and staring at him for about a half hour because he wouldn't stop crying. And that was really tough. That was a good test for the relationship. Who was gonna get up and go check on the whining dog.
So that was definitely one of the more troublesome period for us. So that was interesting. And then probably about a year after that, we ended up starting to look for homes, and we actually bought a home like 2 years ago, this July.
And a funny story, we didn't tell her parents right away, and her mom came to visit, and she looked up on the fridge and we saw all my weight gainer and creatine was in the house, and her mother asked what that was for, and she said she was on a diet and taking different supplements, and really it was all my weight gainer and everything else.
So I had a really bad day at work one day, and I had called John on my way home and was crying and was telling me about my really bad day at work. Well, I got home and there was the Sex and the City movie laying on the bed with a box of chocolates. It was the perfect way to end a really, really bad day. And I think that was one of the moments where I knew this was the man I wanted to spend the rest of my life with.
It came to a point where I couldn't imagine being with anybody else or being away from her, and that's when I decided to propose to her. And I asked her father for permission, and he was a little silent right away, and I told him either that or I could pick him up and throw him over the retaining wall, which we were both standing on.
It was my birthday, and I got home early from work because John and I were gonna go meet a bunch of friends in Uptown to celebrate my birthday. So I immediately went to walk up the stairs. Well, when I got to the stairs, there were candles and rose petals and little notes going all the way up the stairs.
Of what she meant to me and the reasons why I wanted to marry her, basically. And I put rose petals going up the steps, being the romantic that I am. And each note said,
because you're my best friend, because you make me laugh,
because I don't want to be away from you, because you mean the world to me.
Because I can't spend more than a minute away from you. And so there was these notes going all the way up the stairs.
It was really easy to do. And then she walked up the steps, and I had a note on the doorway that said, these are all the reasons why I want to marry you. And she was too short to see the note.
And I didn't even know until after I opened the door there was another note on the door, because he put it at his height and I'm like a foot shorter. So, but that one said, these are all the reasons why I want to spend forever with you, but I totally didn't see that until afterwards.
But she still got the point when she opened the door. I was on one knee with a dozen roses in one hand, the ring in the other. And it was one of the greatest moments of my life.
I felt like I stood in front of, in like the doorway forever, but it was probably like a second or two, but I was crying. I couldn't believe what was happening. I was shaking. It was the most incredible feeling ever. I never in my wildest imagination would have known what that was gonna feel like.
I had everything planned out what I was gonna say, but in the moment we just picked each other. I picked her up and started twirling her around, and no words came out at the moment. It was just one of the happiest moments of my life.
You really know when it's true love or when you know it's the right person. I feel like because of the way you feel, it's just the most amazing feeling ever. It's undescribable.
Ever since then, everything's been going great. Wedding planning, I can't do it all myself, so I had her do a little bit of it. So, yep. Everything's been going well and leading up to the wedding here, so I'm really excited for my bachelor party. So, and the wedding, of course.
Things I love about John. I could go on forever. He's so caring and generous. He thinks of everybody before himself. He cooks a lot because I don't cook ever. He always does little cute things like that. Like if I'm sick, he'll send me flowers at home, or pick me up medicine, or just do little things that I don't even have to ask. He just does them because he loves me. And I love that John never shuts a cupboard door behind him. That's totally a lie. He's bald, so he shaves his head every day and there's hair everywhere. And I love that he gets mad at me because I tuck in the sheet on the bed, but I'm sorry, a good bed making makes it so much better at night. I love that he loves to buy me flowers and gifts. He's a great gift giver. If you ask him, he won't say the same about me because he takes all of my stuff back. You brat. I love his smile. He loves me for who I am. I can be myself in front of him. He protects me. He's always there if I need him. He's just so caring. I've never met anybody like him ever. My parents adore him. They love him. He always wants to make sure that I'm happy, and he does a great job, and it's been amazing, and I love him more than anything in the world. And I'm gonna cry because he's awesome and amazing, and I just love him. I don't know what else to say.
I love the fact that she's my best friend, and I feel lost without her, and there's not a second that goes by that I don't want to spend time with her. When we spend all day together, all night together, you know, go to the gym together, I still feel like I want to spend more time with her. The fact that when I come home, I'm still excited to see her car, or still get butterflies to see her, and just the connection we have is amazing, and I love everything about her.
So one of John's quirks is probably like a year or two after we started dating, I walked into the office, and at the time he had a Brett Favre framed picture hanging in the office. Well, I walk in and he has a cheese head on. He's on one knee and he's
praying to the cheesehead gods in our home. She walked in on me before a big Packers game, and I had my Favre jersey on, cheesehead on, and I was in the room on my knees praying for a Packers win. And we got it, so go Pack, go.
He's insane. And sometimes when we're at church or something for like a holiday, instead of God bless, he'll say Favre bless. He's nuts. He's such a Packer fan. I've never met anybody like him. It was very odd to me, and I am not a football person by any means. So I've learned a lot about football in the last couple years. For instance, there are no yellow lines.
We went to a Vikings game, me being a Packers fan, and Ashley being a Vikes fan. Probably the funniest moment was during the game. She asked where the yellow lines were. The ones that you see on TV. She didn't realize that they were not there when you were at the game live.
So you about died laughing when I did that, but I'm not big into sports.
There isn't a single mirror that this woman cannot walk by without checking herself out. If there was a mirror on top of Mount Everest, she would take the height just to check out her backside. And she does a little fish lips in the mirror, fish lips, turn, look at her backside.
John loves to stare at himself in the mirror and flex and tell me that I'm such a lucky lady all the time because he's really impressed with how he looks.
And most of the time she does it standing on our toilets because we haven't had a full-length mirror yet. So all of our toilets have black marks from her shoes. And that is one little quirk that she has among others, besides putting everything on spreadsheets, which doesn't get annoying at all.
Yes.
Obviously.
I'm always right. I'm always watching.
Mm-hmm.
Like a hawk.
Yeah, I know. For your presence. Me, obviously.
He drives like a grandpa. It takes us 10 hours to get anywhere. If we're ever going anywhere long distance, I drive.
She drives 1,000 miles an hour this close from the other car. Yeah.
He drove like a grandpa, and as he talks, like if he keeps talking, the speed gets slower and slower and slower. We're gonna be crawling.
Everything I say is pretty important. So.
He thinks it's really important.
There's a reason I slowed down, so she gets it all.
Oh, if you knew I wasn't listening. Me.
And I'm assuming everything's going to be on a spreadsheet. Everything. From my socks to my underwear. Everything on a spreadsheet.
I like to keep track of things thoroughly.
To the exact cent. She starts them and I finish them by saying, spit it out, I'm taking it, throwing it away. That's how
they end.
90% of the arguments end.
But I usually start them.
Yeah.
I have a little patience and I'm stubborn.
She's not really a morning person, a afternoon person, or night person. She's more of a tequila person. That usually brings out the funner side. So, yeah.
Funner's not a word.
Right. Dumber is.
Honesty.
Let's say a mutual love for each other.
Compromise.
The fact that she says I'm sorry.
The fact that I never say I'm sorry. We have laughter and we have fun and we're honest and we love each other and we can be ourselves. I'm a clean freak. He's messy. He can't shut a cupboard door. He doesn't make the bed. He doesn't pick up his clothes.
Purposely.
I do it all. He would be a mess without me.
I like the vacuum.
He does like to vacuum. It's one thing I don't like to do, so it's good. It works.